Yeah, I'm ready. Hey, Elise, let's talk in.
Okay, Nick, what is your name and how do you spell it?
My name is Nicholas Alexander Smith. Yeah, let's do that again. I don't want to.
Okay. What is your name and how do you spell it?
My name is Nick Smith. It's spelled Nicksmith.
And what is your name?
My name is Elise Smith. It's spelled Elise and then Smith.
Good. You guys are siblings, correct?
Yeah.
Sadly. Just
That's
kidding.
not even funny.
Yes.
See, that joke has been made like 100 times now for siblings.
Nick, are you sick of the jokes?
Well, yeah, because she's not creative. It's not like funny.
How did you guys feel starting with Nick when you learned that your sibling was going to be in this competition?
I don't know. Seniors always win, so I didn't really care. It's like, I mean, part of it does feel good just to see my sister losing, and it's just like it's that kind of sense of joy you have over competitiveship. It's how do I explain this? I know a lot of people are listening to this from Iowa. So Iowa State and Iowa, you know, that big college rivalry. It's like seeing your favorite team win out over the other, even though you know, like, one team is obviously better than the other. It still feels good to watch that game happen.
Well, first I'd like to state that I still believe that our team should have won, but we don't have to get into that right now.
You don't even know that. You have
It's not your turn to talk. It's not your turn to talk. But I mean, I thought it would be kind of fun, especially because this is Nick's senior year, like a good way to end. I don't know, for him, like a good way to end his being at school with me.
Sorry, my sister's not a good podcaster. What she means to say is she understands how sad I am to be leaving out this world and going to my own
Leaving
little
the world? Are you
But I'm
dying?
not sad.
Well, I know. That's why I need to make you sad by making you lose.
Right. What do you feel about the points that you didn't get? I think it was math 300, where you got the wrong signs.
So it wasn't the wrong signs because it was the factored form, which was still the same answer. So I believe that I still should have gotten that point. And we were down like 200 points from the senior team by the end. So if we had gotten that point like we should have, we would have won. So I believe that because the answer was still correct, I believe that we should have gotten that point, and I think technically we won.
Okay, here's the deal. If we're talking about, so this is the problem where she had to factor some quadratic and give the solutions. This is like, I want you to imagine it as if you're making cookies, right? And somebody asks you to make cookies, and you end up giving them cookie dough. Now, cookie dough isn't necessarily bad, but cookies was what they're looking for. They're not looking for cookie dough. They're looking for cookies.
Yeah, but
what you gave to them was x minus 2 and x minus 4, something like that. And that's not really an answer. You're putting it in its factored form to say the answer. It's, again, x minus 4. It's actually x equals 4 and x equals 2, whatever.
But it's still the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
And honestly, I'd rather get cookie dough than cookies.
Okay,
so
ultimately,
cookie dough is 10 times better than cookies.
Okay, but it doesn't matter. The guy asked for cookies, and you're giving them cookie dough, and that's not fair. You know,
Yeah,
cookie dough
but
has a chance of getting salmonella because of the eggs in it.
Actually, that's why you make edible cookie dough, and that's why they try the cookie dough, and they realize, oh my gosh, it's so much better. So then they give you the point because it's still correct. It's still cookies.
It's irresponsible of you to even be giving them this raw cookie dough in the first place. It's completely ridiculous. You know, you're going against their initial wills, it's like you're showing a lack of trust in them. And it's honestly, that's like really disrespectful and can hurt their feelings.
But it's still the same thing. The answer was still the same thing. It's not the same. It's not a different number. It's still, it's still the same thing.
Well, the problem is you didn't give it into the right form. And the form is what matters. Form matters. If form didn't matter, we would have ballerina dancers that fell into the floor because they don't know how to do their correct pirouettes.
Okay, but it didn't say factored form versus...
It asked for solutions.
But that's still a solution. It's still a solution.
It's not. Those are not solutions.
X plus 2 equals 0 is still a solution. It's just not fully factored, but it's still a solution.
It's not. Okay, then x squared, whatever the original non-factor one, is also a solution.
Okay.
But you can't say that. That's not an answer.
I mean, it can be. It can't. It's still.
Okay, I like to move
0.
on from this question. This is ridiculous.
You weren't even asked the question.
Yeah. You kept interrupting.
But yes, we can move on. Nick, how did you feel like you did during the final round with Armistead?
I feel like I did very well. Obviously, that physics question I was never gonna get before Armistead. He's literally a physics teacher. I did decently well on that math one though. I was impressed by myself. I was able to lock in and use my old statistic knowledge.
You literally made a random guess.
No, I didn't, because what I knew.
You said, "Oh, I just guessed."
No, I didn't. But because that also you're misinterpreting my words. You're not actually correctly pronouncing the words.
So if you
and
say.
so essentially, but let me talk. Essentially, I was able to deduce that if it was a one sample mean test, which is what I thought it was for a second, that would have been. I would have had to subtract it first and then put it into and then had to perform an experimental test on it. But instead, I realized that we had to perform the 2 sample experimental test and
Holy
not
yappers.
require the subtracting. Hey, Elise, you do realize you keep this up and you're not getting food tonight.
Well, I'm paying, and my friend's driving me. So
I'm gonna block your account. I'm gonna make sure your
I'll
account
bring
gets
cash.
put fraudulent account.
I'll bring cash.
I'll burn your wallet down.
I'll make my friends pay for me, and I'll give them money back.
That makes your friends hate you, Elise.
No, I
It
do that all the
does.
time. They can pay for me there, and then I'll give them cash tomorrow.
That's not how it works.
It is though. That's what I do.
That's not how it works.
Yeah. You cannot stop me from acquiring my canes.
Caniac.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I love canes. The cane sauce, oh my god. Wait, can I do a plug for canes?
No.
Canes is so good. If you've never tried their sauce, you have to try it. Am I allowed to state other people's names?
Sure.
Ashlyn Smith got me addicted to canes. The sauce is so good. And it's amazing. Now I go every other day. It's so good. The Texas toast, the chicken and fries are mid, but the Texas toast and the sauce keeps me coming. I'm gonna be broke because of canes.
Okay, here's the deal. Cane's is, I will admit, good because you have Texas toast, right?
Yeah.
Texas toast with butter. Butter and bread is always good, but
Sauce.
okay, the sauce.
Hallelujah.
I've had it before. Essentially, it's
Hallelujah.
mayonnaise and mustard, and it's really tangy flavor.
No, it's not. It's like Worcester sauce. It's no, it's not Worcester. It's Worcester sauce, ketchup. It's mayonnaise. They have Creole seasoning, I think it is. They have garlic powder. They have black pepper. I don't remember. I wish I had my phone with me.
Okay,
I don't remember everything.
So
but
I have a
had-
question. If you know the ingredients of the sauce so well, and you know that Texas toast is so simple to make, why do you need to go out to
Because I
Cane's
don't-
every day if it's so simple to do?
Because I don't know all the proportions, and I know some of the ingredients of the sauce, but I don't know everything. I was just listing some parts of it, but I don't know every single part of it. And also, Cane's just makes it good.
You can make it better.
No, I can't.
Yes, you can
No,
make
I
it.
can't.
And number 2, it's also more economical. At least, don't you have a job?
Yeah, so I can spend my money on Cane's. So I
Don't
have
you
money-
also know that's also more economical to have? Would you rather not have more Cane's?
No, I'd rather just spend my money on Cane's.
So you'd rather-
Because I get tips, and I can spend that money on Cane's.
So you'd rather not have Cane's every day, Cane sauce every day, but instead you'd rather have it 4 times a day and get obesity, instead of living it up 7 days a week and having
What?
obesity.
That doesn't make sense.
Because
if I made it at home, then I would get obese because I'd eat it all the time. That's why I'm eating it at Cane's.
well, okay, you're eating at Cane's 4 days a week, and essentially what's happening is you're still gonna get obese,
Well, no.
but you don't have as much Cane's as you could. Instead, you could make the cane sauce at home, and you could have cane sauce 7 days a week, and you still get obese.
For the record, I'm 10 times more snatched than you. I'm half your weight.
You're also a girl. You're also 5'0".
Okay.
I know
I'm
you're.
5'0". I'm 5'3".
I know you're mini. I'm a foot taller
Nick,
than you.
even though I'm half your weight, but I'm half your weight, but I'm not half your height. Oh,
That's not how proportions work. You do realize that's not how proportions work. Hey, Elise, if I increase the cube, right, and I increase the side length by 2, how does that increase the volume?
This is not a yap session.
How does that increase the volume?
This is not a yap session.
If I increase the length of the cube by 2, how does the cube's volume increase?
Hey Nick, if I punched you, what would happen to your face? What would happen to you?
Nothing, because your punches are weak. Because you're a weak little girl.
No,
Do you want to know the reason why you're half the weight of me? It's because you're frail stick on bones.
Not
For everybody who can't see, that's a weakness.
It's the hugest muscle ever.
It's about
One,
It's about
two,
1 inch in diameter.
Yeah, but I'm also smaller than you, so I can't.
Yeah, Nick, proportions.
If you're so much smaller than me, then that means that you've concluded that we should have a weight difference because of our size.
But it shouldn't. But again, I'm half your weight, but I'm not half your height.
Okay, and that's why you're frail, stick on bones.
But I'm not.
But you are.
Maybe you're just obese, Nick. Maybe you're just obese.
Okay, have you
Did
ever?
you think about that? Did you think about that?
Have you ever checked? Have you
Did
ever
you think about
checked?
that? Do you think about that?
Checked.
Have you ever checked? Have you
Checked
checked
what?
your? Have you ever checked your body fat? Have you ever been to a doctor?
Yeah. And I'm healthy weight. What about you? Have you ever checked?
Yeah.
Whoa, have you
No,
ever checked?
I have,
Okay.
and I'm a healthy
Well,
weight.
when I check the BMI charts and I look at your height and your weight, it looks like it's a little bit above healthy weight.
Nick, how much do you weigh? You don't mind me asking.
Listen, I am like,
No, just give me a number.
I'm like
Nick, just
probably
give me a number.
220, 225 for a 6'3" guy. That's not bad. That's not unreasonable.
Okay, wait, let's check the charts. Check the charts.
So, BMI calculator.
And also BMI. You know what? Last I saw.
Okay, Nick, you're what, 5'6", and
Yeah.
your weight is 225.
Yeah.
Compute BMI. What? It's 28. You're overweight, according to BMI.
That's. You know what? This is why. Have you looked up? I want you to put in a sumo wrestler. What does a sumo wrestler have?
40.
All right, now look up the cholesterol levels of
Oh
a
my
sumo
gosh.
wrestler.
We want to know the cholesterol level.
Just do it.
I spelled wrestler wrong, but not cholesterol. Sumo wrestlers have lower levels of cholesterol.
That's what I'm saying. Sumo wrestlers have actually a really high BMI, but they're
Are you
actually
saying
incredibly
you're a
healthy.
sumo wrestler, Nick?
No, all I'm saying,
Nick's training to be a sumo wrestler, guys.
all I'm saying is that BMI doesn't account for the body fat percentage proportion. Actually, a good part of that is muscle, Elise. Because
Okay.
I'm also a big,
Guess who
my
stopped-
grandfather is a farmer. We are large, stocky boys in our family.
Hey, Nick,
we have a lot of
Who
muscle
stopped
mass.
going to the gym a year ago?
A year ago, I have
Nick
gym equipment.
Smith?
I have gym equipment
you
at home.
You never use it.
I do
we
use
spent
it.
$200 on calisthenics equipment, and it's sitting in the basement.
I use
He
it.
never-
I have
no, you-
used it.
You
Do
use
you want
it
me to
like
pull up? You want me to pull up my spreadsheet? You want me to pull up my spreadsheet?
No, because all you do is play VR. That's what you do for
Oh,
virtual
man.
PE. You get your virtual PE hours through VR.
They don't count as PE, Nick. Nick, are you being academically honest?
I am. Here's what I have to say. Here's what I have to think about.
He does. Oh, what's that? He does Beat Saber for virtual PE.
Hey Elise, I have a question.
What?
How many friends do you have at this school?
A lot. Probably more than you.
I have a question. How many seniors are you friends with?
A fair amount.
You do realize that no senior is actually friends with you?
That's not true.
List every senior who's a friend with you, and I'll tell you.
Kat.
No, she hates
Yeah.
you.
No, she
Katarina?
doesn't.
Katarina hates
Yes. she's
Probably.
so
No,
nice.
Katarina.
I love
Katarina.
Katarina.
Is really nice. Katarina
Yeah,
is
I'm gonna
fun.
miss Kat so much.
Okay, name another person.
Kat, if you can hear this, I'm gonna miss you so much. I actually cried after her hot seat. Yeah, I was sobbing.
you. Katarina, Elise hates you. She
No,
despairs your
nuh-uh.
name.
Okay, name another
Nuh-uh.
senior. Name another senior.
I don't know.
You what?
Well, define friend.
You define friend. That's not.
You know what, Elise?
decide.
I was just thinking about our weights again, and maybe it's
Oh
because.
my gosh.
And maybe it's because
Nick,
I
we're
actually.
past that.
Maybe
We
I
are
lock
past
in.
that
No.
conversation.
I'm moving past it as
You
well.
you want to know what Nick does in his free time?
Hey,
You wanna know what he watches in his free time?
hey. All right. Actually, I was about to say that. I might be a little.
Nick,
Wait,
I'm
no,
not
I
having friends.
stop.
He's about to say
Stop. But you know what? Compare my PSAT 10 score, Elise. What's my PSAT 10 score?
I don't know because I didn't study at all and I hadn't even completed
Well,
trade or
that's
honors
you know
English
that's
too.
embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm still in the 99th percentile, and
No, you-
I didn't study. Yeah, I am in the 99th percentile, and I did not study. I had not completed trig. I had not completed honors English.
Okay, Anne, you could have studied. You could have studied,
But I
and you
didn't
chose
because
not to.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter because I'm taking it next year so I can do national merit.
You know, Elise, you want me to say what your PSAT 10 score is?
No.
It's a
No, please
1360.
Bruh.
Well,
yeah,
you-
I know it's bad for me, but it's still in the 99th percentile, and I didn't study. I think it's pretty good for a 10th grader who didn't study, who hadn't completed trig, who hadn't done like honors English or anything like that. I think it's still pretty good. And especially because next year when I'm actually going to study and things like that, I'll definitely be able at least to make national merit.
My PSAT 10 score was a 1400.
And yes, that was also after like you studied and stuff too. I did not study at all.
I think honestly what this shows is a difference in discipline between us two.
Yes, because again, this isn't something that's gonna matter because I'm gonna retake it anyway, and I'm still in the 99th percentile, and I'm also, like I said, I'm gonna retake it anyway, and I'm actually gonna study for it.
All right, you know what? I think there's too much hostility right now. Can we move on to a kinder topic?
That's literally
We
what
were
I tried.
talking about friends.
That's
Nick.
Nick. That's what I try to do, and then you put up. Back to the weight topic.
So name another senior.
Oh my.
Senior?
I wish I had my
That
phone
I'm a
on
friend
here.
with?
Wait, that Nick? Yeah.
Not you, Nick. You're a senior.
You know what?
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what, Nick? Who are some sophomores that you're friends with?
Nah, Nick, you're good. You don't
I
need
can
to-
name all the freshmen I'm friends with.
Freshmen.
No, I'm joking.
Whoa.
Name
No, I can name all the freshmen Brian's friends with. I know all the choir kids and Glee
Oh,
Club.
I have
senior
a good
choir
one.
Kids
I have a good one.
Love freshmen.
I have a good one. Naomi Templeman.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I'm just saying another one.
That's your friend.
What's
I actually saw her yesterday when I
you
was
know
at-
what her job
when-
is?
I saw her yesterday when I was at the Capitol for the Iowa STEM Youth Advisory Board. And guess who was lame and at school?
Guess who was studying hard in that school and not bumming around at the Capitol?
But it wasn't probably.
Meeting
Guess,
Kim Reynolds.
guess who got pictures with Kim Reynolds? Who got pictures with all these famous people? Who got pictures with Google guy? I got pictures with the Google guy.
At least all
Yeah,
I'm trying to
the
say,
Google guy.
All I'm trying to say is that what you're doing right now is currently bringing down your credibility.
Because
I'm
you know what
not.
you were doing at the Capitol all day? You were taking photos with people. You were on
Yeah.
Snapchat taking photos with people.
Actually, first of all, no, it wasn't my phone that I took photos on. It was on my friend's phone that sent the photos to me, and I was networking while I was there. The photos are
Networking is a lie
no,
made by
the photos-
businesses
no,
to make
the
it
photos-
sound like they're doing something.
The photos are proof, so that when I meet them again in the future, I'll be like, yeah, I met you, and I'll show them the photos.
Okay, I just want to say right now that networking is a lie of a topic that people say is hard, but actually isn't. Because people want to say that they're networking when in reality
And
they're
Nick-
going to
Nick, it's funny
parties.
you say that because networking is a core essential thing in business, and you didn't
It
get
is-
you did not. You got one business question right, I think. Only one.
How many
Yeah,
business
and he
questions
gets
did my sister
he
get
gets
right?
the 4 P's. Yeah, we got one. I think we
You got
one
one
or
or two. They got one.
Did-
or two.
Okay, but did my sister know any of
Yes.
those?
No, I literally was the one who got. I don't remember what it was. It was something about like persuasive marketing techniques or something.
That
I
still
don't
doesn't
know.
matter. The problem with networking is that people make it sound like they're doing something really important when in reality,
But
half
you
like
are.
80% of the time, networking is just people going
Okay,
to parties.
But you no, but
That's
you
it.
you say that because you're a math major and that you want a math major. And math majors are lame and don't need
Oh,
networking
are you
because,
serious?
Because
Have you looked up Terrence Tao? He's one of the greatest mathematicians of our time, and one of the
Okay.
reasons that he is so great is because he co-authors with a ton of people.
Okay, I thought
Math-
you just said networking was bad and then he's networking with a ton of other
Because
people.
I said 80% of the time, networking for businesses is just about going
But
to
I'm not
parties.
talking about
Networking with
businesses.
mathematicians, it's actually about
yeah,
doing
I'm
something.
networking with scientists.
No, you're
I'm
not. You
networking-
ate food with them. You took pictures with them. That's
That's
not
networking.
networking.
Yeah, that's networking.
That is networking.
And
That's
I
like the
also-
lamest
I
form of
also talked to
networking.
them.
That's the lamest
I
form.
talked to them and I gave my case to Kim Reynolds. I talked about what we did with the Iowa STEM Youth Advisory Board, and she said she was gonna look more into it. I got Kenneth Judge. We got an Iowa City representative. We got some other we got a ton of representatives. We got the Google guy to write down our names and take a look into the Iowa STEM Youth Advisory Board.
I just want to say, when somebody says they'll look into it, that's a complete and utter lie.
No, because they
that
literally
means they
wrote it-
don't care
Nick,
whatsoever.
Kenneth Judge, a representative, he wanted to get a photo of me sitting in his seat in the chamber or whatever it's
You
called.
want to know why? It's because of nepotism. Because Kenan knows my dad, and
Okay.
he's good friends with my dad.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I love nepotism. Oh, I love it. I love it.
You're just leaning on the pillars of nepotism to get
No, I'm
your
not.
role.
I'm just being a good person. I'm just not likable.
No, you're not.
I'm just not likable.
Elise, I have a question. Speaking of nepotism, I have what school are we at? Northwest High School. That was a pretty
Okay.
obvious one. I can't believe we didn't get that immediately. And who was the board member who started this school and helped to create it.
Actually, he didn't. The school was already planned to start before he became a board member.
Whose name
Oh,
was
Nick, that's the
plastered.
same thing that applies to you, though. You can't be speaking.
I know.
Pause. What are you talking about?
Our dad was on the school board, and his name was on the plaque.
Oh, cool.
Like with like the 7 names or something.
All I'm saying, it doesn't matter, but I'm saying you're using that nepotism in order to.
I'm not!
You are. You literally
Kenna just thinks I'm a good person, and he wanted me to get a good photo. Speaking of science, this is a quick shameless plug for Next Scientist. Next Scientist is a
Next Scientist does nothing for the community. It has done nothing for the
That's not true. Next Scientist is we literally had a Butterbraid fundraiser.
Get away from the microphone.
Next
That's not how
This is gonna be this is typed out, right? It's not video, so it doesn't matter. Next Scientist is a nonprofit organization that I co-founded and am the co-president of. With this organization, we aim to spark interest in future scientists by introducing them to STEM topics that aren't typically offered at their age. We also we typically try to give these opportunities to those in rural communities and low-income areas. So we've partnered with Waukee schools. We've gone to schools like Grant Reagan. We've partnered with the Des Moines School District. We've tried to go to more low-income schools in low-income communities like Findlay Elementary School. We've actually partnered with the YMCA and their after-school programs. We recently did a Butterbraid fundraiser, and we raised a fair amount of funds through that we're planning to utilize to make some donation kits for schools, especially in rural communities, that they can use, because it's harder for us to, especially on like a weekly basis, go out to those rural communities and give them STEM lessons. So we're planning to make these kits that have included instructions, things like that we can donate to them for science classrooms, after school programs, clubs, etc. That's what we're doing with our funds, and we've done over like 20 lessons. We've even had some event contributions. We were at Lights On After School was a program hosted at a Waukee Schools Elementary that was about their after school program. We had a table there. So just a quick.
So here's what I have to say. I do think that we do need more educational nonprofits in our society. I believe that education, especially in rural areas, especially in lower income.
Really quick.
Stop.
Wait, no,
I'm talking.
I forgot to say this. Don't forget to check out our website, nextscientist.org, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
So I don't actually have a problem with the majority of educational nonprofits. I actually think they're really powerful for a community if they're set up well, if they're organized, if they're teaching to a topic. The biggest problem I have with at least a nonprofit is that it feels like very unimpactful. Like what you're doing, essentially, I've seen your stuff before. What proof do you have that you're making a tangible impact to their education, to their educational ability?
People, by the time, so let's just use an example. At a Des Moines school that we went to, at the beginning it was an after school program. So at the beginning, a lot of these students didn't have much information regarding in-depth science content, but by the end of the program, more students said that they wanted to do science stuff. More people were interested. They knew more science content. More people liked science and wanted to continue with that after we were done with I think we were there for about 6 days. We did about 6 lessons with them. After that program, they wanted to do more science stuff. And also we have like 10 minutes until the end of the block, and we probably need to get back to choir eventually.
Yeah.
I have
a big question. So when you're inspiring these kids to go into science, are you providing the necessary next steps?
Yes, we are. We literally have Google Docs with sheets that have activities they can do at home. We have further resources. We have explanation for these activities. We have videos. We have websites. We have experiments that they can do. And we also have forms that teachers and people can fill out that give us feedback, so we can better tailor it to these students.
So what I have to say is I've been one of these students before, right? Who has been impacted by, for example, I don't remember, some science stuff like this. Not right now, but the problem is you can inspire kids for a little bit, but if you don't keep with them, if you don't keep up with that, boosting their science knowledge, essentially what's going to happen is eventually they're going to fall out and they stop doing it. And it's okay to get people inspired, but it has the same length as a motivational speech on YouTube.
Three things. Number one, we have these extension opportunities that people can utilize, and it's not just like a one-day thing. We have multiple experiments, we have multiple resources. And number two, they're not just, if they truly like science and we've truly ignited this passion in them, they're not just gonna fall out of it. Like, they can ask their teachers, their parents, their guardians for resources. They can do more, like, what was that for?
Oh, I was just looking inside the microphone.
Something in there?
No.
They can look into science things themselves. I used to hate science. And in 6th grade, my 6th grade science teacher really, Miss Hawkins, she furthered my love for science. And after the year ended, I just didn't start hating science again. I kept liking science, even if I didn't always do things with science in my free time. I still liked it. There's no guarantee. You can't say you don't have any evidence that they'll just fall out of liking science. You can't make that claim.
I do have the evidence. And I have the personal evidence in my own experience.
Yes, but I also have the personal evidence in my own experience. And math is still a STEM thing. Your claim doesn't really make sense. And we'll probably go back to these schools next year and years after that because they're going to have new students coming in. And the students that stay in the after school programs, we can further their love for science even more.
I would like to add that, I think it's important to just bring things up to topics, just bring up these topics and introduce it to people. I have a similar club, not related to science, but my club, LOU, does a similar thing. We're advocating for Hispanic culture and it's not up to me to be like, yep, once I teach these people about what Hispanics are, I guess, and it's not my job to be like, yep, they're gonna change as people. It's just, I think it's important to just get the information out there, and it's up for the individual person to decide if they don't have the resources to learn, or if they're not in an environment where they can learn this kind of thing, or know that it's something that they could potentially like. It's important to have things like what Elise is doing.
But there's a lot of people who do short-term things like Elise is doing.
But it's not short-term.
You're doing it on a week scale.
Yeah, it's not short-term. We revisit.
It's a small world.
What is more important is to keep up with them.
And
it'd be more important.
It's not just a one-time thing. We go there consistently for multiple days.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm saying over months.
But we also give them resources that they can use to further their science topic. And again,
giving them resources doesn't help.
Yeah, because we don't want them to rely on us. If they truly want to do science, they also have to learn to be able to develop that passion for themselves. We don't want to force them to love science either. If they have this connection with it, after we give them 6 lessons and we give them extra resources, if they still have this passion for science, then we also want them to explore that themselves. We don't want to have to force them to love science. We don't want to guide them the whole way. We want to have them to have some independence, and we want them to explore. We want them to develop their journey in science. We don't want to do it all for them.
Last statement.
So part of what I believe is obviously in long-term learning, and I also believe in the profound effect that the environment has on learning. And part of having a great environment for learning is realizing that it's not all about a self-love. Because I do really enjoy mathematics, but there have been months where I've just not done it because I just fallen out of touch with it.
Busy watching something else.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing with these kids is that they're busy. They have TikTok and they have Instagram. They have other distractions.
They're literally
stop.
8.
I know, but that's part of the society we live in. People are watching these YouTube shorts, and ultimately, what matters more is that you're keeping up with them on a very long-term basis, helping them keep with these activities. I think that's the next step.
So thank you guys so much for coming. One sentence. How would you describe your sister? One sentence.
Don't you dare say a bum.
She is, she's somewhat smart. She's probably more motivated than I am, but she's still a bum who doesn't know how to argue correctly and to be nice to other people.
And a cane addict.
I'm not going to say that.
And a cane addict.
In one sentence, how would you describe your brother?
He's a nerd and a geek and a dweeb. And he's relatively smart. He knows a lot of math stuff. So like if I ever have math questions, I can come to him for math help. But he's a cane hater, which makes me a canes hater.
I don't hate cane.
Wait,
I just think you eat it too much.
Actually, it's canes, not cane.
Doesn't matter. You just said cane hater.
Yeah, and I corrected myself. Did you correct yourself?
I did just correct myself. I said, never mind. It doesn't. At least this doesn't
And
matter.
he's very silly.
At least this doesn't matter. Honestly, what matters more is that
One
at the end of
sentence.
the day, we can come together.
One sentence.
And we can be kind to each other. And we can have a real conversation with others.
Bro, stop.